All right. I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
We are the CRM Players, and this is not going to be our usual show. As you might have seen on LinkedIn, this show is going to be dedicated to remembering Mary Wardley, who was one of the most beloved members of like our little group, our community of CRM, CX analysts, thought leaders, influencers, watchers,
Vendors, journalists,
vendors. That's right.
practitioners.
It actually is kind of interesting how over the course of years we've kind of all grown together and have created I call it an accidental community because I don't think we actually or anybody actually set out to let's make a CRM community, but it just sort of happened. And last year we had Marshall Lager, who is definitely one of the folks who we were actually probably really close to, but a lot of people in the industry thought very highly and loved Marshall. And so when he passed away, we decided we needed to do something and let everybody share, their feelings and their remembrances around Marshall. And it was such a really great experience in terms of just not just missing them, but hearing the stories and hearing people say the things that they did and even allowing us to laugh and remember some of the things that Marshall said and did. It was really helpful. And so I guess it was about right at the end of ServiceNow's knowledge event where we were getting ready to have like the last like analyst dinner. And right as that was ending, I kind of caught eyes with Kate Leggett. And Kate, she saw me, I saw her, and she made a beeline over to me. And right behind her was Christine Randall from ServiceNow. And the very first thing she said wasn't even hi or great to see you. Hope you're all well. First thing she said was, we need to do something for Mary Wardley. We need to have a community event to allow us to share and remember her. And I immediately, Paul wasn't there, but I immediately said, absolutely. I said, I know Paul is going to be into it, so let's do it. And of course, as soon as I mentioned it to you, your words were,
Well, yeah, of course. I actually said, how do we not even do it sooner? That was the other part of it because really, she was a very much beloved by everybody. I will tell you one thing. I was thinking about this earlier because I didn't run across her as much as say Mike or Denise or Melinda or any of the others who actually were IDC people or Wayne did by a long shot. But I ran across her at conferences. I ran across her every now and then at events. That's where I would see her, and it was always kind of amazing for me because every single time, and this is without exception, and this is, I would say, if I'm looking at it over the years, 30, 40 times maybe over the years, every single time without exception, there was a hug, there was a smile, there was a conversation about something that we were doing there, wherever there was. And there was, I guess the best way to put it was she made an effort to be helpful. Even if I didn't have anything I needed or wanted or asked her, she made an effort to be helpful. And you always walked away from those kind of conversations feeling kind of great, really. You felt that she cared, and it was genuine. She was not putting on a show. This is who she was. And so, when I heard she had passed, it was like shocked. And that was the other thing. I was completely unaware of the fact that she had been battling cancer because she never let that get her down, not for a second. And I saw her multiple times over those 8 years and never let it get her down. And I will tell you one other thing. I don't look, obviously, being CRM guy for a long, long time, I don't have a whole lot of questions I need to ask that I can't find out for myself, but I do occasionally have those. And I had maybe one, two, maybe total of 3 people. I would kind of think, oh, let me email, let me speak to, let me whatever. communicate with this person to get an answer to this question. And Mary was one of them. Actually, I always thought of her. I mean, she was a quiet power, really, when it came to the professionally, and this lovely presence when she was when you saw her or spoke with her in person. I mean, it makes me sad, but makes me glad that I knew her.
I'm going to keep mine very short because I was probably one of the less fortunate people you're going to hear today, because I didn't get a chance to spend a lot of time with her. I would see her every now and again at events, but every time I saw her, she always had a smile on her face. She was very kind. And I always remembered that. So I'm going to keep it at that, because we have a number of folks who wanted to share a story they have of Mary, a remembrance. And we have folks, of course, that work with her, folks that kind of like us that would be in the same circle, and we would get a chance to interact with her, folks from the vendor community, where she definitely helped them out quite a bit.
Yep.
And towards the end of the show, we actually have a few of her family members, her brother and sister, are going to come on and join us. So that's what it's going to be like. We have some folks that are already kind of standing by. But before we start bringing these folks out, I just so happened to find this little video of her in action, like showcasing and talking about the CX stuff. So I'm going to play this little clip before we get everything else going.
I'm Mary Wardley. I am an industry analyst. I don't know why I get so ramped up about CX. Like, we're all customers. My controversial take on CX, which can get a lot of people sort of hot under the collar, is that, well, I actually have two. Can I go with two? One being the idea that agents go away. I don't believe agents are going to go away. They might morph. They might change. Yes, interactions going up, complexity going up, we need the agents. Okay, so then the other thing, deflection. This is a word that I would like to see go away, and I understand that, being a fair person. I understand that deflection is something that is very important in the minds of operations people, but it does communicate a level of bias, right? That we somehow don't want to talk to our customers. They took out their hard-earned money out of their pocket, they paid for a good or service, and now they have an issue and they want to talk to us. That customer deserves our time.
All right. Yeah,
boy, is she on the money too.
Yeah, I like the way that she said, I actually have two things.
Well,
and then went on to say the thing that she didn't want to hear about. I thought that was kind of fun.
one last word before we move on. She was a natural. That was the other side. She was just a natural. Just look at her presence on that stage, man.
Yeah. Okay. So when we put out the promo that we were doing this, we did get a whole bunch of comments, on Paul's post and a couple on mine. We can't read them all, but I'm going to read a few here. And also, if you have something that you'd like to share, something in remembrance, put it in the comments. We'll put it on the screen so that everybody can see it. But what we got originally, I'm going to read this. It's a little long, but I'll just read it for everybody. It's from Stephen Graham.
He's here. Actually, I saw him.
I think he already commented.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So, Steve, we're just going to read this a little bit. Mary was a bright light. She was a terrific friend and colleague during my time at IDC, and her emails provided much needed inspiration when I was recovering in the hospital from a traumatic spinal cord injury. In one of her emails, she provided me with a quote that I always thought was a great snapshot of her character. My high school quote in my yearbook, and these are her words because I think he's quoting her. My high school quote in my yearbook was Goethe. Hope I said Goethe.
Goethe.
Great works are performed not by strength, but by perseverance. That is me. I am all about just doing it and doing it. I've never been fast, the first, or the strongest. My strength is that I just keep going. Reading this always makes me smile. Rest in peace, Mary.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Should we read one more? Or we can mix them in. You
Yeah.
want to do that? All right.
Yeah.
So before we get to some live testimony or remembrances, we do have a clip from Melinda Ballou, who worked with Mary at IDC. She wasn't able to make it. I think she's traveling in Germany or something like that, but she did not want to not have something represented here. So we're going to play this clip of her talking about Mary.
I remember Mary as a vital, loving, kind, brilliant analyst at IDC. She brought such depth of understanding to the research that she did, and at the same time brought empathy, kindness, and a vivid wit to conversations that we had. I knew her personally and professionally. I lived in the same town. And the first time we met, we were outside near her house, and I was visiting another friend and asked me what I did for work. And I said, well, you really wouldn't understand what I do for work. And she said, well, you probably wouldn't understand what I do either. And then we found out that we were both industry analysts. And that was before I started working at IDC. I just feel such gratitude for the inspiration of her life, her ability to be both present as a friend and as a colleague, both to myself and also to all of the others at IDC and her amazing community of friends and family. She also inspired me physically. I had a diagnosis of cancer around the same time as Mary's diagnosis about 8 years ago, and we supported one another in that context. She was a remarkable athlete, both sailing and biking. And I remember one of our friends who also lived near Mary's house, who was a engaged biker, and Mary went past him and his friends just on her way biking to Framingham to go to the IDC offices. She leaves such a huge gaping hole in our world, our community, both of friends, family, and also for the CRM and analyst community. And I guess my best way to honor her memory is to live with that caring, empathetic presence that she inspires in us all. Giving thanks to the living memory of our amazing Mary Wardley, and for this opportunity to give a tribute to her life and what she meant to me and to others. Thank you so much.
That was very nice.
Yeah.
Very well done.
It's beautiful.
I want to continue on because I think the first time I heard that she had passed was from this really great post by Wayne Kurtzman, who worked with her at IDC. And we do have Wayne with us right now. So let me see if I can bring Wayne on and maybe he can share our members or two of working with Mary. Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Wayne.
Hello. Thank you for doing this for Mary and for all of us, for the community. My introduction to Mary was when I was being interviewed at IDC, so almost 10 years ago. And then one of the processes was to basically present for 7 minutes and then get 53 minutes of questions from vice presidents and higher. And Mary was, of course, there and asking me the unanswerable questions. And as I would start to answer, no, you got it. And it's like, so I figured I found a good friend for a long time. And on my first day, it was a fire hose of 4.5 hours on one breath of immense knowledge about data, CRM, which fortunately I was very, very well versed in, and basically a very caring person, do anything for you. And I knew there was, a lifelong friend in Mary, who's also in the green room here now, and Mary would often go out to lunch in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, or at events where we would share what we had, and a friendship built. And she always gave as her time, her intelligence, her caring, which is perhaps what I'll miss most. But what I realized in a few months of knowing her is she had been doing the analyst gig for so long, yet what amazed me was how in tune she was with customer needs, evolving needs, the market, people in the market. And I knew I wanted to be like her when I grew up. So,
Mhm.
um, so yeah. So again, thank you very much. She was as good a friend and a colleague and a mentor. So hopefully we all strive for that.
You know what? It just triggered a memory I have of you and her. I don't remember what conference it was at. Again, they certain point just come together. But the two of you, I don't know what you were talking about, but the two of you were sitting in an analyst room and you were talking real animatedly, and you were like locked in talking, and then all of a sudden, this is why I remember it. You both of you simultaneously burst out hysterically laughing, and I had no idea what was going on, but it was so loud it like caught me, but it was just locked in and it looked intense, and then you just went hysterical, the two of you. I don't know why that triggered, but I'll never forget it because it actually almost scared me. It was so loud.
Sorry to almost scare you, but thank you very much for sharing that.
Oh, I totally remember.
And I didn't know you were that scary, but that's a good story.
That's two of the least scary humans I probably know.
And Wayne, thanks again for writing that great tribute. That's how we found out so much about Mary through your post on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
So
it was beautiful.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
Okay, let's move it on because there's several people here that want to share our remembrance.
Got some people in the comments too coming up.
Definitely, yeah. Well, it's funny. I was trying to hold off because some of these comments are so long. I didn't want them to cover up Wayne's face as he was
I know.
But yeah, please keep them coming. By the way, I think I didn't share this one.
Mm-hmm.
So Christine, who works with analysts, of course, said, yeah, she's heard Mary say deflection. She hated the word deflection a time or two before. So that's great. Okay, so we have another IDC co-worker who spent time with Mary. I want to bring on Denise Lund, also an IDC. Oh, she's even representing. Got the logo in the back and everything. Thanks
Mary
for
called me too. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Tell us what you remember most about.
Yeah, thank you. And I wrote my notes down, so I don't want to forget anything, and I wanted to include some, memorable little nuggets that everybody here could kind of think about as we go forward, and that, her family who's on the call could also have a chuckle at. So basically, my memories of Mary began in the pandemic time. It was strangely quiet, as we all know. We're all locked down, and I was at IDC, as was, of course, Mary, much longer than me. So we were connecting over video calls and so forth, and we were going a little stir crazy. We both have, teenagers and, husbands. So that was making us mental, and we thought, let's do some virtual yoga. So we started our pandemic mornings before the IDC work, started each day, and took some occasions, over the weeks and months to do virtual yoga. So that's when we kind of discovered we were kindred spirits, and we had never met in person, right? But we just knew. So when the lockdowns finally lifted, Mary and I needed some major IT computer work done on our computers. So we make our way down, to the Needham office, and we were going to grab our computers that have been repaired and grab some lunch. So I pulled up in front, I get out of the car, and Mary just laughed. And she laughed, and she really laughed, and she laughed way too hard because I was so short. She was like, "You are so short." I never knew all these years. So I was like, Mary. But the laugh was just so genuine, so unfiltered, and truthfully so infectious that we were both laughing, and that was really pure Mary, and something I'll never forget. So from there, the three of us, Mary, Wayne, and I, as Wayne mentioned, took to becoming a trio of friends and analysts, and we bonded right over the work and family and holidays and all of that. And it was really, the way I was thinking about it, is it was kind of friendship that snuck up on all of us. It just sort of evolved. And we met, as Wayne said, in Portsmouth. We met in Newburyport. Mary and Wayne would bring samples of their cooking adventures and so forth. All three of us, would have the best times when we were on work conferences. So New York City, we had ice cream from a food truck, late night in Orlando. We would always try to make it there, Mary and I, in advance of all our meetings to catch a little shopping before the meetings. So we were, pretty sadly, Mary and I just one trip shy of one more great adventure. She was supposed to join me at Enterprise Connect in Las Vegas. So I really missed her there. And she was doing the brave walk that we all, know her for. So Mary was the kind of person who made room for everything. She and I talked hairstyles. She got her favorite haircut from an Italian hairdresser that she adored in Italy. She was showing Wayne and I the pictures when she got back. She showed me her knitting tricks on airplane flights where she also had to talk me off the ledge because there was too much turbulence. So she loved an Aperol Spritz, and I have forever thereafter. She loved Italy, her trips to New Hampshire with her family to the lake that she told me all about. She loved her husband and boys. She talked about their biking trips, the cooking that she did with her sons, the paintball adventures that her boys had, and just her love of every day. She talked about watching all those international bike competitions and all of her sailing adventures from Marblehead, with John, and her deep love of the kitchen from her own cooking adventures. And she talked about pickle juice. I think if people are bikers, they love that. It's hydrating, right? So
doesn't that sort of help people? Isn't that some kind of balm or some people use to help them get through that physical stuff? I've heard of that pickle juice stuff.
Yeah, it's like a big jug of it. And she and her husband, I went and saw them in the Old Orchard Beach, and they were doing a good bike ride in the last few years. And yeah, they loved their pickle juice when they were working out. She talked a lot about her morning trail cookies, and she shared those with Wayne and I, and her corn chowder recipes that I believe were a family favorite.
We'll have to ask them about that later.
Yeah, exactly. They owe us all, and whatever their updates are to those recipes. So I'll leave a little more. But Mary definitely gave everything she had at work too, in addition to just being an awesome, fun friend to hang out with. She spent her career at IDC wholeheartedly throwing her heart into it, and she became a genuinely respected voice, as you all have showcased here, in the contact center and technology space at large. She literally loved consulting with clients. She loved it. She never wanted to be behind the scenes, just pounding on a keyboard. She wanted to be out there and consulting with them, and she loved digging into that. And she was, and I've heard a few references to this, she was truly endlessly curious about the voice of the customer. So she, when things got hard, and in this business, we all know it gets hard, Mary didn't flinch, and she met every tough goal that she was handed and exceeded it. And I've never personally seen such will and determination and grace under pressure, and it was all at once, and she had so much behind the scenes. Through it all, she pulled through it, the work, the conferences, the health battles, enjoying her family both near and far, and she never once made it about herself. And I know we've all said that. I mean, it's a thing. She never made it about herself. She always asked how my family was doing, how everybody that was in our presence was doing. She always shared the funny stories about her family and her dog, that her Lucky, who is always in the room, trying to kind of take her seat. And even at the end, right, when she had every reason to kind of turn inward, she was still showing up for all of us, all around her. When I step back and think about it, she showed me and all of us what genuine friendship looks like. And I wake up many days coming to work thinking, I can't believe she's not here. It really hasn't sunk in. She is by far one of the bravest people I've ever known, and we're definitely all better for that.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's
Amazing. She was
beautiful.
a real force.
And it makes me also want to know a little bit more about pickle juice too. I have to tell you.
Pickle juice, corn chowder, and her trail cookies.
Okay,
Yeah.
we got some questions to ask the family about, but Denise, thank you so much for sharing that. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
It was.
Okay, let me see. Why don't we do this before we bring on our next person?
Yeah.
You want to read one of the?
Yeah.
All right, let me pop it up here and let you read this one.
Yeah, Amy Canary, who's you can see she's working at Zora. Amy is also a very well-respected person in the industry herself. And she writes, Mary was one of my dearest friends. We also happened to work together for more than a decade, but friendship always came first, and anyone lucky enough to know her would tell you the same. We racked up a lot of milestones together, work and life both. And what I'll miss most is the running exchange of stories, advice, and the occasional well-earned eye roll.
I like that.
Yeah.
The well-earned, not just, halfway.
That's right.
Really got to go a ways to get that well-earned eye roll. All right. Why don't we go to somebody who actually apparently was her boss for a few years at
I think a decade, if I remember.
A decade?
Yeah.
You better have some good things to say. That's all I'm saying.
Nobody has. You want to know the truth? No one ever has a bad thing to say about Mary. Literally no one.
Mike Fawcett joins us with the beautiful lens, and the lighting is just right on point. So, hey, Mike.
Hey, how you doing, guys? This is a tough one, honestly, because oops, sorry, I just got attacked by my dog. But I did work with Mary for 10 years, and as you guys know, when I came into the analyst world, I was not an analyst. I was hired by IDC to run the enterprise apps group, and I came directly out of a provider role at Autodesk running their global consulting organization. So I knew how to manage people, but I had no idea how to be an analyst. And Mary was the one who really, takes you under her wing and just helped me so much really get settled in and understand and, how to do things and where things were. And yeah, it was just, she was such fun to work with, and just loved life, was just such a inspiration, I think, to the whole team. And I think for that whole 10 years was kind of the glue that held everything together. Like, she was always there. She'd help everybody. She'd jump right in. And in 10 years, I do have a lot of stories, some funny, although I will say, Amy, I earned a bunch of those eye rolls too. So. What can you do? But it was funny. My daughter, one of my daughters, was in school in Savannah at SCAD, and she was really into rescuing animals, and she had found this kitten and rescued this kitten, and Mary and I were talking about it, but she already had 3 cats in the house and couldn't keep another one, and she wanted to find a something to do with it. And I was talking to Mary, and Mary's like, you know what, I really want to get that for my boys. And she literally bought a ticket out of her own pocket, flew to Savannah,
Wow.
picked up the cat from my daughter, and took it back with her. And
Wow.
That's just the kind of person she was. I mean, like, amazing, right? And then, of course, funny stories. She one of her big habits was Dunkin' Donuts coffee every morning on her way into work. And I'm a coffee snob, as anybody who knows me well knows. And I used to rib her terribly about that Dunkin' Donuts coffee. But once we were out in San Francisco when I still lived out there, and I took her to Phil's Coffee, which is like a really sushi sort of coffee place out there. And I was just there a few weeks ago when I was out in California to an event, and it just reminded me of how much she loved it. And she started ordering Phil's coffee on a regular basis and had it sent to Massachusetts because I guess I got her hooked on it too. But anyway, so the other one, the other story I remember, we'd always do the annual performance review, and she was out and I like to do them in person. She was out in San Francisco, and I'm like, Mary, where do you want to do your performance review? And she was like, well, you told me about that tequila bar near your house, and I thought that'd be a great plan. I'm like, I'm in. Like performance reviews and tequila. That there's like nothing better than that.
That's great performance review.
Yeah, well, it was actually one of the more fun performance reviews that I've done in quite a while. Sorry, there's a thunderstorm here, Brent. I don't know if you're seeing that in Atlanta. My dog is freaking out. But anyway, yeah, no, it was really great working with her, and I can say that she, just loved being around her. She and I were close to the same age, so we had a lot of shared memories. And, I do remember her excitement when she found out she was pregnant with the twins, and how excited she was to have twins with John, and just, love them and spend time with them, and just such an amazing person. But I can't even think of all the good things I could say about her. I just love working with her and spending time with her, and just like learned so much from her about the analyst world, but about life too.
Wow.
Amazing.
Thanks for sharing that, man. Really appreciate it. We'll let you get back to the storm.
Yeah.
And
get back to my poor dog who's
calming your
out.
poor dog.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Take care, man.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you.
Let's we got something here from Alita. She loves sipping tequila.
I can
Good thing
understand
to know.
that.
All right.
I
And
wish I had known that, actually.
Kit, I hope I'm saying her name right. Werby.
I think so.
I think I talked to Mary about pets, animals, as much as I did research. As an animal lover, Paul, you can definitely attest to this one. Myself, I love those conversations.
Wow. You know what, though? I didn't have those with Mary, and that's actually now really upsetting me. I'm not kidding.
Apparently it was probably well known that she was an animal lover. How did that get you guys
I don't know.
missed on that one? Wow, that's interesting.
No.
Okay, so we do have another person. I'm sure she has some really interesting stories to tell, because I think I used to see them at a lot of the events, all like hunched up together. You know how certain people sit in groups. I remember these two sitting a few groups, maybe more than a few groups, but it is Rebecca Wetterman.
Yes.
Hey. How
Hi.
you doing, dear?
So I have to say that I will be the third person to mention eye rolls. I think I learned it from Mary, and my husband says I'm an expert.
How long did it take you to learn the eye roll?
Mary was such a great friend and colleague. She's been mentored as a mentor by so many people. She was also a great sewing buddy who was always giving me ideas and tips, and we would share stories about our latest projects. And I don't want to spend a lot of time because I know other folks want to talk, but a million years ago, when I was an intern at IDC, I used to go into the office early in the morning in Framingham and sit in my little cube and wait for everybody else to come into the office. And I remember Mary used to come in early with her coffee. And she was friends with Jerry Murray, who sat in the cube next to me. And she would come in and chit chat with Jerry in the morning while she had her coffee. And I remember listening through the cube wall, thinking, someday, maybe I could be as cool as Mary.
Mm-hmm.
She had the best stories. She had the best excitement. She had the best enthusiasm. Just a great all-around person. And we will miss her.
No, that's very nice.
That is amazing.
For sharing that. Yeah.
I also didn't know you were an intern at IDC.
A million years ago. Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us. Thanks to Patrick for letting you share a little bit of the time away from Patrick. So
yeah,
we appreciate
it. Thank you guys. Thanks for doing this.
Absolutely. All right. We have, oh, let's see what Robert McCullough was saying. A relationship with Mary was so varied. We bonded on pets, fitness, mental health, life, and oh yeah, being an industry analyst. I
Totally.
like that. It's pretty much in the right order.
Yeah. Amen there.
Except for the Rams would be part of anyway.
No.
I digress. We do have one more comment that came in immediately when we posted this. So why don't we read that before we move on and have some of the family members join us? This is actually a kind of long one from Jennifer Neumann. Is it Neumann or Newman? I don't.
It's probably Newman, unless
Newman.
it's German specifically.
Okay. So Jennifer says, I am deeply saddened to learn of Mary's passing. While the majority of my career has been spent in HCM analyst relations, my short 3-year stint covering CRM at SAP was one of the absolute best times in my professional life. And Mary was the heart and soul of it. We formed an instant, wonderful bond. I always look forward to catching up with her every year at IDC Directions in Boston. And we even managed to sneak away for lunch together a few times outside of the city. Mary was kind, brilliant, funny, and full of wisdom. Beyond her sharp professional insights, she taught me valuable life lessons like you shouldn't drink your calories. I was always in awe of her incredible energy and physical strength. My thoughts are with her family, friends, and the many colleagues she impacted throughout her career. The world is a little less bright without her. Rest in peace, Mary. You will be deeply missed. That is really beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you, Jennifer.
Absolutely.
I hope you're watching, but thank you regardless.
Yes. Okay. So we said at the top that we wanted to bring in some of her family members, and we really wanted them to hear you guys before we brought them in, just so that they could understand how much she was really respected and loved in the industry. So I think they're getting a sense of that now. And also, please keep sharing in the comment section so that they see if you have a story or a thought, they can see yours as well. Okay, so before we bring in her big brother, Anthony, and his wife, Debbie, and her younger sister, Anne Marie, we wanted to play a clip that they allowed us to. I thought that would be really interesting to share before we brought them on from the memorial service. And this clip is from her nephew, Mike. A brief thought from him.
Growing up, it was a cherished time coming up to visit my dad's relatives. Very special. My two aunts, Mary Gina and Anne Marie, my uncle AJ, these people were like heroes to me. They were fixtures in my life that I loved every trip we took to see these three people. Home movies going back to when I was little, my sister was little. There's just something about each of them that was so special and reminding us of values in our father, Anthony. But, you know, it's all shared values and the same thing, but with different words, and there was a comfort in that. Shared values, interests, laughter. All the Contis have the same sense of humor, much to a lot of people's chagrin, perhaps. But when I think about my aunt, Mary Gina, the words that absolutely come to mind, they've been said before: kindness, funny, smart, unbelievably articulate, interesting, interested in everything, everyone. Someone said that before. Hobbies, places, anything. She threw herself into it. And I think when I was thinking about it, that's probably one of the things that attracted so many people to her. She was such a passionate person. And that was very infectious. I remember just being proud as a kid to say, that's my Aunt Mary Gina. She is so freaking cool. And there was just a special bond that we always had from when I was a little kid. Back to when I was my older son, Oliver's age, 4 years old or so. She called me Micule, and I loved that. I thought that was the coolest thing. She would swing me like a ticking clock by my legs, which my mom, she loved when she did that. And my wife, Caitlin, loves when I do it now to our 4-year-old because of Mary Gina.
All right, that's a fun story. So let me bring on Anthony and Debbie Conti and
Hi, guys.
Anna Marie Clausen, her sister. Thank you both all
Anna
for
Marie.
Muted.
There you are.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Oh, stop. He's a pill.
Well, as I believe that was your son said, you guys all have the same sense of humor. So,
Yeah. It's very dark.
so I mean, you've heard from a few of her coworkers, colleagues, people that just traveled in her circles.
Yeah.
Share some things about her. Was there anything in there that you hadn't heard about her before?
Anthony, I don't think.
I'd say, first of all, thank you very much for doing this and inviting us. That's very kind of you and whoever's out there in the virtual audience. And in the family, we called her Mary Gina. So her name was Mary Angelina, very Italian, which is her interest in Italy. And everything that everybody said is so nice for us, the family, to hear. And by the way, her husband, John, and twin boys, Luke and Zach, are also on the link, I believe, in the LinkedIn, and we'll share this recording with others. But everything that everybody said is so on brand. And perhaps Anne-Marie and I can share a little bit of her early years, which were formative for her professional years. One of the things that people have said is like, I didn't know she had cancer. I can't tell you the family members that said she had cancer. I mean, these are cousins, many of whom were angry that we didn't share the fact that she had cancer because she was somewhat private about that, and she just soldiered on. So I just remember fielding these calls. How come you didn't tell me she had cancer? And she, a number of them knew, of course. But again, this is lovely for the family, and everybody's pretty much capturing the way she is. And we learned a lot when she died for her professional life. Although I was briefly in the CRM space, I didn't realize all of the comments that were made by folks. Her curiosity, her determination, her focus on animals. And maybe I'll make this comment about animals. We kind of grew up in suburban Boston, but at a young age, we wound up moving, of all things, to 150 acres in Loudon, New Hampshire, where the racetrack was. And so it was like a mile from the nearest neighbor, an hour-plus bus ride. And so we had the obligatory Labrador and a few cats, all of which started breeding. So we were surrounded by animals.
A few?
We wound up having all these feral cats that were hiding behind the stone walls. So Mary kind of took that on to her life. Like Lucky is an adopted yellow lab, which we had a yellow lab growing up. And she flew someplace to adopt Lucky, I believe. And I'm saying, what? But anyway, that's her. That's her. But we got other stories. But Anne-Marie, do you want anything come to mind that you?
Oh, I was thinking about all the cats. I mean, there were probably 15 cats living in an A-frame that our father had built, I believe. Anthony can correct me if I'm wrong, but she was the one traipsing out in the dark year round to feed these cats.
Oh, I didn't know
that. We never saw because they lived outside.
Wow.
But every night when it's dark, she was determined to get out there. And that's early. I mean, that's not even teens yet, I believe. Yeah. She was younger than, she was probably 9 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Paul knows a little bit about those
Yeah, no,
numbers.
I do that too.
that's
We
why
have
you wanted, right?
we have 15, 20 fear. No, that's the funny thing. In all the times I saw
You didn't know
Mary, we never talked about that, not
Fascinating.
once, which is
Fascinating.
astonishing because it's like a central part of my life, right? And my wife and I's life, and it's obviously of hers. And so I would kind of regret it, to be honest. So, but
Yeah.
wow. I mean, of course, it also, to your point, it's Mary on brand. That's exactly the kind of person she is.
Yeah.
Take care of everybody and everything.
I got to tell, I mean, Anne-Marie, I don't want to interrupt me, by the way, which you always do anyway.
Oh, I
but,
will. Don't worry.
But early in her life, this notion of her being curious and soldiering on, a couple of quick stories, and I apologize for those that were at the celebration of life ceremony, and we can post that actually. Maybe I sent you the link, Brent, I think, if you want to.
Yeah, we can post it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 90 minutes, so I don't know if you want to bear through that. But anyway.
And most of it's you and I.
Yeah.
You guys are actually a great team. I watched.
you are.
A good number.
I did too.
We tried.
I did
We'll
too.
give you our card at the end.
Anyway, this goes back to when she was definitely an infant, barely a toddler. So at the age of 12 months, and I'm 9 years older, so I can recollect pieces of this. All of us, we grew up in, as I said, suburban, Winchester, Massachusetts, suburban town. And all of a sudden there was panic in the house. Where is Mary Gina? Where is Mary Gina? By the way, at that point, there were probably 3 or 4 kids. So it's easy to lose track, right? And, but there was definitely panic. So she's a toddler, probably still crawling, in diapers for sure. She crawled a town block out of the house, down a flight of stairs, outside stairs, and then up to a relatively busy semi-main road. It's called Washington Street in Winchester. It runs between Winchester and Woburn. And some passing car saw this baby, stopped, and started knocking on doors. Wow. This is our sister Mary saying, "Does this baby belong to anybody?"
anybody missing a baby?
and that
Let me check
her, because John, and I think maybe Anne-Marie, you said if you went out, she was a big bicyclist. If you went out bicycling with her, you might come to regret, or rollerblading, inline skating. I say rollerblading, but that's not correct. She would correct me and say, no, it's inline skating. She would say, I wonder what's around the next corner. I wonder what's around the next corner. Well, that would happen. People are collapsing left and right. She's still going. I'll tell two quick other anecdotes. She I don't know if you're aware of this, but she was a voracious reader. I mean, her house is just she could fly through these books, and I'm a poor reader, actually. It was discovered at the end of first grade. She actually had a reading challenge, which is interesting. Back in 1960, no, it would have been 5 or 6 years, in the mid 60s, they diagnosed it, went to a school every Saturday, so I'm the first. We had another brother. So the 2 older brothers, we forever tease her, but she would go to this reading place. And she became an incredible reader. And I think that's kind of her tenacity, like the quote given early on about might not be this and that, but boy, am I going to persevere. And that really kind of fit her. Kind of the last quick story is she was actually published at the age of 8 years old. And she had opened a bank account at Winchester Savings Bank, and the passbook days, and $5 entries, and I think she had $100. And I forget what happened, that she was so moved by the service she was getting from Winchester Savings Bank, she wrote them a letter. And I'm saying,
she wrote the bank a letter?
Yeah, she wrote the bank a letter to thank them for their service. And I'm saying, why would you do such a dumb thing? And AJ, our brother, would do the same. By the way, I really think AJ and I are responsible for her professional success, because she learned a lot of overcoming objections and putting up with older people that would always be saying, why would you say that? Because we learned from others that she'd stand up to anybody. in the
I thought you were
industry.
going to say she learned how to do the eye roll from you
Right,
guys.
from you, right.
I'm sure she
Well,
perfected it with our brother and me.
I'm about to say she learned how to use it on those
Yeah.
guys, right?
Exactly. So anyway, she writes this letter, which we thought was a dumb idea. What happens? Her letter becomes published in a full-page ad in the Winchester newspaper. Her name, the letter with a block printing. Thank you for your service.
Wow.
So,
And what were your faces like when you actually read that in the newspaper, you and your brother?
I don't think we hung around to eat the crust. Amory, your turn.
Oh boy. Well, I was hoping to come up with a funny story, but
We'll make one up.
okay, I'll lie. I can't. Everything's so touching, and I can't thank you guys enough for
Yeah.
putting this together. It means so much because I've been coming home, especially this week, kind of just like walking around the house, not knowing what to do, or putting on music that she liked and just feeling it. I think it's been probably the first week that I've actually been able to sit with it. And I was telling Debbie last week, I didn't have the radio on, which is very unusual because I only work a mile away. And which is another funny story because I like to walk or ride my bike, but Mary Gina insisted that I have a car. Insisted. I can ride my bike to the grocery store. I can go anywhere in town. So I'm borrowing her car. So halfway to school, I turn on the radio and the first word is Mary.
Oh.
And it's things like that, her favorite songs. So last week and this
Really?
week, it's been a crazy, crazy amount.
Wow.
But with that, I don't know what to do with it all. So that's why I'm so appreciative. And my birthday was May, and birthdays were huge to her.
Yeah.
And it was so weird not getting a call. And our daughter is June 14th. My husband's June 16th. And I still was waiting for the phone call.
Yeah, she was great at that. Always. Yeah.
Always remembered birthdays, and every single birthday would sing to us. And then I would panic if I was, I had to prepare myself. Oh, it's Mary June's birthday next week, Mary June's birthday, because I'd be so nervous I'd forget. But she was so thoughtful about that.
How
And
about
the gifts. Oh,
So
birthdays.
we were so our we have two brothers that I don't want to be morbid about that. They died relatively young. She would always send
Morbid.
Anne-Marie and me a text saying, okay, are you going to get ice cream for AJ's birthday? Are you going to do this? Always every year. I said, okay, when's Mary Gina's text going to come through?
Exactly.
And Marie, was she like a protective big sister?
Yes. I had
Oh
to
yeah,
think
what's the
about
story when you were rollerblading in the race and
in the race. I know, it was so cute.
inline skating? excuse me.
Inline skating.
Inline skating. Well, actually, maybe that's why I was so slow. It wasn't that she was so good. I didn't have the right skates. She and John always first rollerbladed and then inline skated together, and they would go on these races in Boston. John happened to be, he must have been sailing because it's unusual that they didn't spend the weekend together or they do different things. But she really wanted to do this race, but she was nervous, and we set it up, I think, the night before that I'd at least drive her. So I picked her up in Watertown. We drove to Boston, and she was still really nervous. She was talking to John, and he was talking her through it. You can do this, blah, 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 blah. And I said, well, why don't I do it with you? Not having any idea what I was in for, not preparing. I don't know how long the race was. It could have been 40, could have been 50, knowing Mary June. It could have been 75 miles. I don't know if it was that long, but I couldn't keep up with her. I mean, it was gone and she was gone. The race started and I was probably 2 hours behind her, embarrassed, no water, waiting for them to okay, let's close the race down. I think everyone's come in, but there's, Mary Gina holding on to the gate. Come on, Ray. That's what a nickname of mine. Come on, Annie, come on, you can do it. You can do it. And at that point, I wanted to cry because it was so sweet that she's literally standing there, waiting for me, egging me on like I did this great thing. And I'm feeling like the biggest loser out there. So yeah, she looked at, just like the car situation. I kept saying, Mary Gina, we don't need it. We don't need another car. But no, you'll do me a favor, the battery, and just watched out for me.
She was a big presence. I can't say how much, her husband and twin boys, 16, almost 17, going into their senior year. And my wife, Debbie, Anne Maria, there are many people that have been trying to help fill the void, which can't be filled. But we keep discovering, oh, Mary Gina did this. And the boys are, it does this with anybody, but she was so central, such a huge presence with so many different dimensions that are too numerous to list on the personal side. And, we're all kind of going through that. Like Anne-Marie, you did it beautifully stated, Anne-Marie, early on about how challenging it is, especially sisters, special bond with sisters.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you honestly, it's interesting. Well, more than interesting, it's obvious, I guess, is more like it, of what a presence she really was.
Excellent word.
The thing was, if she was in a room, you knew she was in the room, even if she was doing nothing. She could be standing there; it didn't matter. But you knew she was in the room. And actually, if you just watch that clip that we showed in the beginning, her presence was there. You could see it was just very confident, had things to say, said what she was going to say, regardless of that one thing. Okay, I have two, right? Right. And then that's how she, every interaction I ever had with her. And I'm pretty sure everybody from at least our industry and the community here has felt that with her. So it's kind of obviously it's a bit of a different kind of void, but it's still a void.
Definitely. I got to let people know that she literally, I don't know if this is hopeful or at least positive. Her 8 years from her diagnosis, which had metastasized at the beginning.
Wow.
You would never know. She's bicycling. She's doing all the stuff that we're discussing here. Didn't communicate it to many. Her doctor, who's a big shot in big oncologist in Boston, who we got to know quite well at the end, said, I saw this. We saw this personal interest he took in her. It's like Dr. Schnipper, quite a lovely name. Name, but
Dr. Schnipper was his name.
That's a bad name for a doctor.
Go to Beth Israel, Lowell Schnipper, or you can go to the obituary. There's a nonprofit in Africa that he serves, and this guy just had such personal interest. He doesn't have his staff chase her down. He's calling her.
Wow.
I was saying, Dr. Schnipper, what? And this guy's a big, he's past retirement, is well in his 70s. What's with your attention? I just had to ask him in the hall, and he goes, I don't know. There's something about your sister. I don't know what it is, but when she was diagnosed and she had all these responsibilities, that I just wanted to help her. And in fact, he just called yesterday, my wife, out of the blue, to relay some information. She kind of touched people like that. And
So before we let you go, I have to ask. Pickle juice, corn chowder. Explain these things, please.
And
well, the pickle juice we've heard. Well, I'm not a bicyclist. I'm around town, like singing Daisy.
On a balloon tired bike.
Yeah, exactly. The bike she gave me, the Riley. How do you say Raleigh bike? Thank you. From like 1920. But it's a great time. As soon as I moved to Newburyport, she's like, I have the perfect bike for you. I got it at a yard sale. You can just pedal around town. And of course, she put it in the car. I didn't have to go get it. She brings it to me. But as you said that, thank you, Anthony, because it's just like things, story after story. Oh, you need this. I found it. I was like, I don't want this big, what are the blender on the counter. I like empty counters, but she found a cute little one that would fit. And she was so happy. And I was like, let me pay you for it. And she's like, no, can I just do something for my little sister, please? So it was so sweet. But anyway, sorry as I get off track, Anthony.
No, the corn chowder.
That's
She
fine.
was the cook. She was
Oh,
always
corn chowder.
interesting. I mean, do you know a corn chowder? Our mother
Yes.
had these interesting recipes, kind of an old Yankee New Hampshire person. I don't know. Go ahead, Anne-Marie. Do you know anything about that?
Well, yeah, so we all loved corn chowder growing up. So that was one of our mother's staples, or fish chowder. And then I told Mary Gina we started adding whitefish to it. So she had tried that a couple times, but through our growing up, she loved corn chowder,
yeah, it was
and would
kind of a
make
comfort food for the family.
comfort food.
Yeah.
I need actually to get Mom's recipe.
Yeah, well, she had a lot of those. I wanted to get that pancake recipe when I saw her last summer. I don't think I ever got.
Made from scratch, right?
Yeah.
Everything is going to be made from scratch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing all these great stories.
You guys are amazing, by the way. I just want
Yeah.
to know that right away. I did not know you, but I love you both, all three of you now.
I was going to say,
right?
I was going to say, love you, Anne-Marie.
I do. You three are amazing. Just like,
Yeah.
wow. That's all I
Love
can
you,
say.
Anthony and Debbie.
And we know this isn't the easiest of times, so we definitely do appreciate it.
Thank you, though. This is
Very
part
much.
of the healing, I think, listening to everybody share their memories. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and there's some comments. You'll probably want to read those as well, because there's just a lot of an outpouring of concern around.
Go to the LinkedIn.
So that'll be in the link. Oh, great.
Yeah,
Looking
yeah.
forward.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, the link. Okay, great.
You'll just go to LinkedIn where this
We'll
broadcast.
share this with our family as well.
Yeah. You'll see some more. Brent put up most of them, but there's a couple we didn't get to.
Excellent. All right.
And please send our regards to her sons and husband.
I think they're on, so they're hearing you now, I believe.
Okay. Thanks again. And thanks everybody for participating in this. We'll be back to our regular show next week, but we definitely felt it was necessary for us to do this. So we thank you for being a part of it. And we, Paul and I, will see you next week.
Watching here. They're watching.
Okay.
Oh,
It's
so
kind
you
of.
can't see it, but anyway, they
Well, we're just waiting.
they are.
We're
they're
waiting.
watching. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye.
Oh, that's lucky.